What's the deal with Battlefield right now? Most current AAA shooters are in decline, but there's this one franchise that's kinda holding on. It's kinda not dead, but at random times throughout the month, it's raw dogged by some streamers and players that give it a little bit of life for a while. And I mean this for a multitude of the last few Battlefield games. In some instances, previous titles like Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 4 have either outdone or at least come close to topping 2042's daily or weekly concurrent player counts. God damn it, flying planes in this game, bro. Maybe that sounds like nonsense, but dude, Battlefield 1 is like 7 years old. BF4 is almost 11 years old. Bro. So what is it about Battlefield games in 2024? Why are players flocking to older titles, and how is 2042 shaping up the next generation of Battlefield games? Let's take a trip down memory lane and live it up once more before I remind you of what happened on October 6th, 2021.
This wasn't how it's supposed to happen, Irish.
You've just had one of the most intense and exciting launches to a campaign that is going to forever shape your ideas of what a military shooter can be. You boot up that online access pass that you bought a code off eBay for because you stole this game just like I did. Little did you know, Battlefield 3 would quickly become one of the top selling shooters of its time and become a staple in the genre for years to come. The magnitude of insanity and chaos that came in the form of conquest and rush was not something our society intended on being impacted by, but it made a dent. To this day, you will find servers with ramped up tickets and timers. You'll probably have left the game way before it's over, but it's epic to know there's a server somewhere keeping a light on. Alongside the expansions of this game, we started forming a new, deep relationship with this guy, not her, and this guy. DICE threw in 2 consecutive bangers that could never be forgotten. Let's be honest, what stood out in Battlefield 4 was It was Levolution. It does not get much better than that.
See, there's one right above me.
Got one of the snipers.
Right here.
Another one down the hill.
Shooting at me.
See him go. He sees us. Oh my god, I got him. I jumped out of my plane, had a huge superhero landing, and I'm here. I threw a grenade at my feet. Got him. Jonathan got him. Battlefield 1 and 5 share an almost equal place in my heart, as Battlefield 5 feels more like Battlefield 1 with a few additional guns and gameplay mechanics. These games were a staple of their own and really pushed forward a genre that doesn't pertain to progressive modern day shooters. I say this because these 2 games in particular had a different pacing than the other Battlefield games. Yes, they all had long respawn timers. Battlefield 1, to be specific, had a dreadfully long one, but the matches were naturally longer and had a slower paced battle. And I don't really know how to get too specific about that, but for some reason it just worked. The delayed gratification worked. Somehow, with the other factors and elements of these 2 games, it was able to work and people didn't complain near as much. Of course, there's less flash element to it. They sort of fixed that with Battlefield 5, but it just wasn't the same. Maybe someone else can articulate that if they know what I'm saying. I don't know. Help me out. And now, the game with tornadoes and shit, fucked up operators and classes. the same map rotations since launch, and a whole lot of fun. 2042. For a long time, I put some heavy heat on DICE for the shit-baked potato that came out at launch, as it felt worse than the other shit-baked potatoes. But in due time, 3 years later, I understand that it was probably difficult to port and optimize this game to so many different consoles as well as PC. I mean, I know that stuff is getting harder these days as the margin between 2 generations of console capacity is growing, like Rockstar not launching GTA 6 on PC to start kind of thing. So, okay, I can actually enjoy this game now, other than some server issues and public map rotations being buns week after week. But there's not a whole lot you can ask for at this point. All I can say is the game is pretty much a finished product, and it should be more than capable of delivering a solid experience for you. I think most can agree there. So we've prefaced each of the last few Battlefield games, and maybe it goes without saying that generally speaking here, while each Battlefield has similar qualities that keep a portion of its community satisfied, they might have hit their peak when they neglected a progression into the modern day live service era. That's how most games behave now. And even in Battlefield 1, the game I'm generally describing as their peak, there are microtransactions, yet content became free for premium users, premium in which was discounted often, and honestly, the degree of micros at that time are nothing compared to now. But the style of gameplay and longevity of matches was what I believe kept players engaged. While today those elements exist, they coexist within or behind Battle Pass formula paywalls. However, that's not as much of an issue as I might be making it out to be, but it's definitely not as much of an issue as was the state of play 2042 was in until recently. Now, I can show you concurrent players on any Steam title, but always keep in mind that there are a massive amount of console players that enjoy Battlefield, and the server relevancy that I speak of is in terms of console servers. What matters though is that the game is finally in great shape, and we as a community can finally thread together a cumulative opinion as to what works and doesn't work with this stage of Battlefield. Ripple Effect, formerly known as DICE LA, recently had been reported to have been working on the next Battlefield experience, although it seems as if we might not be getting a directly Battlefield experience, and perhaps something totally fresh. And I'm okay with only knowing that so far. I'm just excited to play what this developer puts out, and will critique or praise the game as it is after we have more skin in the game. It doesn't have to be called Battlefield for people to like it, but it does have to entertain that genre of players. 2042 really cut it close. I think the reason so many players like I have found myself in empty servers isn't because people have stopped playing Battlefield, but that they are playing a different Battlefield, one that hits the spot, you know? There's plenty of fun to be had in any of the previous titles that are still online, and when 2042's faulty launch was strung out with lackluster content throughout the first, year and a half, many people either logged off or hit the trenches. So what are your thoughts on what Battlefield looks like today? Did 2042 rub you the wrong way? Did 2042 bring you to the series? Or which one stood out to you? And why? Let me know, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to help me out, then leave a like and comment. I really appreciate it. Life is a planet. Peace out.